Good morning. I'm Ken Shigley, President of the State Bar of Georgia, and welcome back to the latest edition of our weekly legislative update. Today is Friday, February 25th, 2012. The legislature has been very busy. One thing that will happen today, but hasn't yet unless it happened after we got up to this room, is the introduction of the Criminal Justice Reform Bill. That would be very comprehensive, cover a lot of things on recalibration of offenses, improvements of probation and parole supervision, safety valve procedure on drug possession offenses and sentencing, and some other things. We'll talk about that more later. The indigent defense measures that will include a bill and a proposed constitutional amendment introduced by Rich Golick, chairman of the House Non-Civil Judiciary Committee. It's passed out of committee. We expect to vote on that in the House floor next week. I've sent out an email to about 17,000 Georgia lawyers who signed up for our Legislative Action Network, asking them all to contact their legislators and urge them to support that important measure to help the state fulfill its constitutional obligation to provide a competent defense for indigent Georgians who are charged with crimes. That's really essential to the smooth functioning of the criminal justice system. As a former prosecutor, I saw up close and personal how the lack of an adequate defense can sometimes mess up the procedure, and we need to do that. The Juvenile Code, which started out as a project of the Younger Lawyers Division several years ago, has been passed in the past week out of both the Senate Judiciary Committee and yesterday the House Judiciary Committee. We expect that to go to a vote on the floor sometime soon. Folks are still struggling over how to pay for aspects of that. The effective date will be 2014. Hopefully next year they'll find funding for positions that are necessary to make it work on both the prosecution and defense sides. There are still things there that need to be resolved. We had passage from committee this week of a bill on real estate closings that will require that a lawyer be involved in a residential real estate closing with 4 or less units and provide for a civil action when a real estate closing of a residence is done without a lawyer's involvement. Tom, tell us what else is going on.
Well, this is the time when the log jam gets created and everything gets backed up, Ken. We've got 15 days left in the General Assembly after today. We have 5 days left until House bills have to be in the Senate and Senate bills have to be in the House before the 30th day, which we call crossover day. So it's getting to be a log jam, lots of late hearings and long days and some late nights. Some surprise legislation is getting introduced right here at the very end. Just yesterday, or today I guess it is, horse racing, parimutuel betting on horse racing legislation has been introduced. That'll cause a little stir. Last-minute introduction of legislation to increase maximum truck weights by about 3 tons has been introduced. That's going to cause a stir. Then we're going to have the Criminal Justice Commission recommendations on legislation as well. To follow up a little bit on what Ken said about indigent defense, as you know, it takes a constitutional amendment, takes 120 votes to pass the House, and one thing that we do and have been doing all week, we've been counting votes, and I think we're going to get there by early next week. I want to remind you and urge you, if you have not written or emailed your House member or senator about indigent defense and urge their support, I'd ask you to do that before the weekend is out. On a few other things, our legislation is moving pretty well. We've got criminal justice, or not criminal justice reform, the Commercial International Arbitration Act passed the Senate this week and has moved to the Senate, or moved to the House. We've also passed the budget in the Senate, the FY12 amended budget. We have $800,000 increase in indigent defense funding in that budget. which we kept in the Senate. So the House and the Senate have agreed on that particular provision. One other provision the Senate did not agree on was funding of the Resource Center. We had asked for $172,000 in additional funding for the Resource Center. We got that in the House version. We did not get that in the Senate version. They did not include that increase. And so now that will be one of the issues to be resolved when the budget goes to conference committee. And hopefully we'll be able to get at least a portion of that $172,000 included in the conference committee report. But that will be a difficult fight. But we're going to keep working at it, and I think the House is pretty firm in their desire to keep that $172,000 in that budget. One other bill that passed this week was Representative Jay Powell's bill that requires that all fees be used for the purpose that they were passed for. Right now we have fees for indigent defense, we have fees for tire removal, we have fees for head and injury funds, and a lot of those fees are not being used for that purpose. That was one of the reasons why we passed or are seeking passage of the constitutional amendment on indigent defense. Representative Powell's bill just says that if the fees are not used for that purpose, then whatever proportion they are used for, the budget the next year, that fee would be reduced so that there would be no siphoning off of fee money from the intended purpose to be used for other purposes. It would just mean that the fee would be reduced. And if that bill passes, that would also be a help, I think, to indigent defense funding. Finally, the Judicial Council every year publishes a list of judicial circuits that need additional judges based on a variety of factors, including caseload and those kinds of things. I believe the legislature has committed to fund 3 new Superior Court judgeships this year. I think that will be the program. So I think we can look forward to that in upcoming days that the legislature will approve and the Appropriations Committee will approve funding for 3 new Superior Court judgeships in the state.
Thank you, Tom. Next week we'll talk a lot about the criminal justice reform proposal, which will be out hopefully sometime today. I've had a briefing on it, but that information is embargoed until it's actually introduced. We will be in touch with bar members asking support for that very important legislation, which has the backing of the governor, and then we'll give you a further update on some of these things we talked about today. Thank you and have a good week.